Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. We're still making the rounds Hawaii. We got a few more vendors to talk to, and then I think we can get back to the boat. Yo, Shan, welcome back to the palace. You got anything interesting to tell me today? He looks at the heap of wearable computers, PDAs, and chip decks on his nearby workbench. Because I got nothing but fixing hair curlers and debugging old ladies' PDAs. I swear I'm going to die of boredom. Well, I've got some metadata for you. Yo, tell me what you got. The network runs on information. The recent heist at the Emperor's Tomb Museum, the one under construction, had a specific target. Books. Really? Indeed. There was some sort of ancient text, probably sorceress, and awakened monsters had invaded the tomb. Whoa! Are you serious? That's nuts! Law slaps his thigh for emphasis. Boom! More proof for my theory. The Kong is done. I gave it 2 years tops before demons or something eat everybody. Let's see what I got for you. Grab a program. Here's my surplus stack. Law grabs a nearby bin and slams it down in front of you. And check this dreck out. Oh, he's offering me... I don't need any programs. Have you got some new yet? 200. I'll bill this as a data expense, while Poe recognizes the intrinsic value of information. Information is money. Boom! It's a pleasure handling meta with you, Shan. Law beams happily. A little meta is like a fresh memory defragment. It makes my whole day better. Let's see if he can tell us anything more. Nope. I think that's it for maximum law. Alright. Good deal. Do the same old same-o. Let's try and see what Spider Shen is up to. I think this is the way to her store. Then we go check the guys at the Go table, talk to Crafty. Errands everywhere. Alright, man, what do you got? Shen is busily engaged in a conversation with someone on the other end of a video call. The other individual appears to be a tremendously handsome elf wearing an immaculate and undoubtedly pricey custom suit. Shen doesn't appear to notice you. I'm just saying, if the custom officer gives me any more crap about importing those tiger snakes, I'm going to be up a creek without a paddle. The elf nods, tilting his head back with a mischievous grin. Leave it to me. I have some friends at the customs house. Between that and their shoddy record keeping, I'm certain I can get your snakes out of quarantine. It'll take a day, maybe two. If it takes longer than that, it's because someone specifically doesn't like you. At long last, Shen seems to notice you. Hold on, Yang. I'll call you back. Got a customer here. Putting down the comm link, Shen bows. Hello again. What can Spider Shen do for you today? Who's the good-looking elf? He's my lawyer, Yang. Our lawyer, I should say, since he's another Blue Lantern and is part of the same crew. Shin lifts a thin Chinese sword, turning it over so that the light glitters along the edge. I don't do a lot of things that are legal in the strictest sense. It helps to have a good lawyer, you know? Why not bribe the police? Why spend money you don't have to? If Yang can convince the police it's not worth their time to come after somebody, that's already cheaper than a bribe. What's more, it looks on the up and up to any cop that's dumb enough to pass on a bribe. He's gotten us out of more jams than I can recall. This one time, we had to cause a big fuss and make sure it pointed at the Red Dragon Syndicate. We ran into one of their protection rackets and started causing all kinds of fuss. Breaking windows, setting fires, roughing up patrons. Yang told us to wait and get arrested. Problem was, there was a vice squad that really wanted us caught and thrown in jail. We'd embarrassed them a few times already. Shen chuckles quietly. Turns out he'd use a Decker contact to make sure to swap a bunch of public recordings so that traffic cameras would conclusively show us somewhere else and arriving at the last minute. So he's not so much a lawyer as he is a fixer, like a literal fixer. He also made sure the vice squad that arrested us was cited for failing to file the proper paperwork on a bunch of previous cases. The squad got canned, we got let go, it was a thing of beauty. Getting some new pets in? Shen frowns dourly. They're not pets. They're an investment. I can make anti-venom serums from them, or I can use raw venom to accomplish tasks that would otherwise be too messy and loud. You do wet work for the Yellow Lotus? When the situation demands it. Normally I work for Grandfather Woe exclusively. Sometimes, though, he asks me to do someone else a favor. Shan produces a needle from below the boat's table, casually flicking it off the side. Glancing over, you see that it's embedded halfway into a metal crate. I solve problems. I never know what the problem will be, so I have an array of tools at my disposal. It's like this. Yes, I can hurt people, but I can also heal them. I learned to heal with my medicine before I learned to hurt. Very yin and yang. When you learn how the body works, you learn how to break it, as well as fix it. It's like a mechanic in a car engine. If you know how to fix it, you know how to disable it. Well, anything new? Yeah, that's definitely got some new stuff here. Kunai Ninja Suit. An Renraku-made infiltration suit with reinforced ballistic protection. That's neat. Mystic Armor. The Adept has +1 armor. Counter-Strike. The Adept ends their turn but will counterattack with a current weapon when attacked. Maximum of 3 counterattacks per turn. Ooh, that is cool. Quick Strike. The Adept gains a 0 AP cost attack that does 8 damage to the target. Pierces up to 2 armor. Shares a cooldown with Lightning Strike. So we got a ton of new martial defense. Huh. I like it. Punching Dagger, which we definitely need. Causes moderate bleeding to target. We're going to have to come back to Shen here once we get paid. With everything. Get ourselves all the new shiny spells. Now then, let's go check out... We need to go by the Mahjong parlor too, honestly. Okay, there's the boat. So that means... And this is the talk to Kindly's friend, which we are not really prepared to do yet. I'm just checking to see if there's anyone else here that we can talk to. Doesn't look like it. Let's see what Reliable Matthew has to say, and we'll just work our way up. I just like coming here for the jazz music. A hover drone loiters in front of Matthew. A stream of profanity is spewing from its scratchy speakers. People nearby are looking away, ignoring the awkward situation. Matthew's cigar is dead, drenched by rain. He stands with his signature nonchalance, but the edge of his face are twitching. His eyes are wide with fear. You could listen in, but you've already got the gist. Matthew's being chewed out. Let's listen in. A sharp voice emits from the hover drone, interspersed with static crackles. Don't pick up the sails. You're going to be digging dog dreck out of the tire treads for a living. You got me? Reliable Matthew stutters a response. Hey, Quang Ha, come on, beautiful. I've got a half-dozen hot leads just coming in today. Don't give me your cheap hustler shtick, loser. If you don't push 10, you and your fuzzy little pals are going to be living in a cardboard box. Don't worry, beautiful. I want to hear yes, sir. If I hear anything else, I'm going to pull your eyes down to your ass so you can watch me kick the crap out of you. You hear me? Yes, sir. Matthew's voice is barely a whisper. What was that? He says it louder. Yes, sir. That's better. Now don't screw this up. You damn screw up. The drone's speakers finish with a shriek of feedback and a clack back into its hull. The drone soars up into the sky and races off upriver. Matthew shakes himself off. His cheery demeanor surges back with striking resilience. He turns towards you, a little wild-eyed, but otherwise restored to his usual self. Shan, hardly saw you there. Come on in, don't be a stranger, beautiful. Who were you talking to through the hover drone? One of my suppliers, Quang Ha. Really good businessman, sharp guy. Sees opportunity where most of us only see broken parts. Funny guy, makes me laugh my ass off. He sounded unhappy. Oh, that's just Quang Ha. He's like a paper tiger. Matthew sways back and forth on his feet, languid and jittery at the same time. He's a big joker, always shouting, but I think he's a real softy at heart. Real big heart for the little people. Keeps me well stocked. What's your business arrangement with him? I sell on commission. Gotta keep these bots moving. They don't earn their keep sitting out on the barge. You don't own most of these drones? Matthew's brow arches up in surprise. Of course not. How could I afford them? I'm so lucky to have a guy like Quang Ha as a partner. Only problem is he's got me laughing in stitches so much, it sometimes distracts me from sales. So, he's a funny guy, huh? I was laughing my ass over here as well. Matthew gives you a long, awkward smile. The second stretches out. He blinks uncomfortably. When he speaks, his words sound stilted, like he's repeating a mantra. He's a funny guy. Matthew adjusts his suit lapels with a mechanical gusto. Whew, what a pep talker that Quang Hai. I feel like I could take on the world right now. Goodbye, Matthew. Well, we'll probably have to come back to that. Actually, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to. Anything else going on here with the game, gentlemen? The three men are once again fixated on their game board. Jin rubs his hands together nervously, his face twisted in concentration. It appears that Shiyu now has the upper hand. The silence of the game is deafening. Amateur players would be filling the air with clicks and clacks of the stones against the wooden playing board, relentlessly trying to outdo one another. These men are different. Shiyu picks up a small black stone. His hand reaches over the board, then pauses. Jin stares at the outstretched hand, suddenly still. Shiyu begins to lower the stone. Down, down. Jin is practically on his toes. And then, Shiyu pulls his hand back. Perhaps not there. He strokes his short beard thoughtfully. Jin tosses his arms into the air, nearly knocking over the playing board. Damn it, Shiyu. When you start a move, you commit to it. I swear, you're doing this on purpose. Friends, Lao interrupts the players. We have a visitor. The two players look up. Jin sighs and holds his face in one hand, mutters something beneath his breath. Shiyu's eyes fix on you. He stares, unspeaking. His generous smiles and playfulness from before are absent. Sorry to interrupt. I was just wondering if you all are still having the dreams. This again? Don't you have anything better to do? Yes, we're all still having the dreams. Lao's voice is calm but troubled. However, they've gotten a hell of a lot worse. Jin shifts uncomfortably. Look, let's not go into detail. Anything would be great. He mulls this over. All right, but afterward you have to let us finish our game. Sure. He nods approvingly, then glances at Lao and Shiyu before continuing. Our dreams have become, unpleasant, so to say. Darker. Violent. He runs his hand along his tightly cropped beard. Not all that healthy, if you ask me, especially for men of our age. We come out of them in a daze sometimes. Feels like we've been punched in the senses. And the imagery. You can see him shiver as he thinks about it. Well, I said no details, so no details. That about sums it up. Shiyu? Master Lao? I have nothing more to add. Shiyu? Shiyu's eyes bore into you. No. Nothing. Is everything all right, Shiyu? You've been staring at me for a while. Shiyu continues to stare at you, his face pale. He opens his mouth, closes it. He seems to be struggling to find words. What's wrong with you, Shiyu? You better not be having a stroke. We're in the middle of a game. Way to go there, Jin. If Shiyu heard Jin, he doesn't show it. He looks at you and his eyes widen. You need to go faster. His voice is urgent, pleading. The shadows that follow you are getting closer. Excuse us, Shan. Our friend is tired. Lao Cat clasps a hand on Shiyu's shoulder, who doesn't seem to notice. These dreams have taken a toll on all of us. Please come back some other time. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset anyone. Enjoy your game. Alrighty. Well, I don't want to move faster. I want to do all the quests, all the missions, all the things. Now, let's see what Crafty... Oh, she's in a different area, so she might have some info for us. Immediately upon entering, you notice the clutter. Somehow the small magic shop is even messier than before. Stacks and stacks of books occupy chairs, tables, and the tops of shelves. There seems to be even more than when you first visited, as if you're just entered a paper factory, and it's spawning season. You peer around a precariously arranged tower of books and find Crafty hungrily reading one of her mother's journals. Red rings her eyes, and tousled hair falls over her face. It looks like she hasn't seen the better part of a pillow in a couple of days. She moves to stretch and spots you. With a quick flick of her hand, she marks her place in the journal. What a welcome sight. Have you found anything? Not too much. How about you? A slow smile spreads across her cheeks, and she nods. This mind-numbing tedium is starting to pay off. Check this out. The dreams they're everyone having, they aren't really dreams. They're omens. From what I've gathered, we're walking a fine line here. They're pretty dangerous. Attempts to interpret them could lead to mixed results. What do you mean by omens? You know, omens. Harbingers of doom and gloom and bad things to come. Her mouth twists to the side as she thinks. Just a minute. Crafty opens a drawer behind the counter and brings out a dictionary and clears her throat. Omen. A sign that warns of future events by way of visionary creatures or hallucinations. She closes the book with a thump. What causes them? Apparently, these sorts of portents are commonly linked with malign places and disaster sites. They're caused by leakage through wounds between our world and the astral plane. So what's causing these wounds? Can we stop it? I'm not sure we can. At least I haven't found anything about that in my mother's texts yet. She lays a hand flat on the countertop and leans forward. We don't want to dive into this haphazardly, Shan. Remember, these omens can be dangerous. How are they dangerous? She holds up a finger and starts digging around for another text. After a moment, she locates a small notepad and flips to a dog-eared page. In here it says these visions, or dreams, or whatever you want to call them, are real. They're open to interpretation, but interpreting them incorrectly can be disastrous. Astral space is a place of dream logic. Taking the things you see too literally can be even more dangerous than ignoring them. Sounds like the best outcome would be for us to interpret a dream correctly. Using that term loosely, yes, but there's no real correct way to interpret a dream, and it's difficult to separate the nonsense from the substance. Can you interpret the dreams? Crafty plunks the notepad on top of a nearby book tower. I can't help you interpret your dreams. Whatever they're trying to impart, it's beyond me. All I can do is keep reading. There has to be something in this library that can help us understand what's happening. And we're already making strides. Thanks, Crafty. I do my best. She smiles tiredly, the bags under her eyes exaggerated by the gesture. Well, that's something. So they're not dreams, they're omens. Which makes sense. But I think that's everything here. If I go into the Mahjong parlor, I'm going to start that quest, or that mission, and I don't want to. So let's go ahead and head back to the safe boat. And let's take a look here. Get some rest, meet Kindly Cheng's friend. Well, we also need to claim payment for the runs and talk to the rest of the team. So let's go ahead and do that. We have 3 unread messages. Holy crap. Alright, first things first. Let's open the jobs directory and claim payment. Well done. You went above and beyond what I asked and liberated some truly precious artifacts. I've attached the payment you're owed, plus a little bonus. I trust that you'll keep quiet about what exactly was liberated from Lu's little museum. I'll come collect the books from Kindly Cheng shortly. Yes, I kept quiet. Of course I did. How much money do I have now? 4,678. Well. Let's check the inbox for new messages. Urgent task, restaurant job offer from ISO. Alrighty. So man, there's tons to do. From Kindly Cheng, little birds have been whispering in my ear about an urgent and high-paying run. Steel Arm Lu, a red Pole, managed to get his hands on information concerning a prototype laser weapon in development by Ares Asia Holdings. For years, the Yellow Lotus and the Red Dragon have been locked in a Cold War. Despite this, we remain evenly matched. Neither one of us can attack the other without being exposed to devastating reprisals. Lu wants to change this, and he has a plan. Rather than strike directly, Lu intends to aim external forces at the Red Dragon, specifically Knight Errant. He intends to frame a white paper fan named Golden Fong, making it appear that the Red Dragon have been bribing Ares researchers for classified data. 2 leading drone and energy weapons researchers have recently transferred from London to Hong Kong and are running the project. Doctors Taylor and Hardingham were respected in Europe, but in Hong Kong they remain unknown quantities. They are untrusted and therefore are considered untrustworthy. Perfect targets, in other words. We'll provide data that will make it look as if the researchers were contracted by Golden Fong and made quite a bit of money, but grew tired of the arrangement. Transfer the attached files to a data chip. The files are bundled with a worm program which will auto-execute when inserted into the appropriate systems. You need not bring a Decker, though one may be helpful. You will need to plant data in the visitor record system, the camera systems in Hardingham and Taylor's lab. Financial data is to be transferred to Dr. Taylor's personal terminal. That in and of itself will be enough to ensure knight-errant involvement, however. Planning the data will not be enough. Planning the data is only the first part of your task. This is where the heavier touch will be required. You will also need to steal the prototype laser weapon. There's a GPS tracking device attached to it, which Lou will plant deep in Red Dragon territory. The apparent theft of a prototype weapon by a disgruntled Triad member should convince Ares to dispatch overwhelming force against the Red Dragon, dealing them a vicious blow. As a note, Lou does not care what becomes of the laser weapon. If you wish to sell it or keep it, feel free. Ooh. I have also attached a map of your extraction route from the building. During the facility's expansion in 2052, Ares Asia was forced to extend their foundations deeper into the island. They drove piles through the former site of the central MTR station, which partially collapsed during the Dalu Bay earthquake of 2044. Practically, this means that you can exit through the basement directly onto the new MTR line through Central. With any luck, you can be gone without anyone knowing how. Unfortunately, this route is heavily alarmed, so you'll be forced to go in the front door. If you can con the front desk, you should have no problems. The facility is both an office and a residence, so strange people coming and going at odd hours is not unusual. If you're not up for fast talk, however, be prepared to shoot your way in. Lou does not care if you're loud or quiet, but a word of caution. He came by all of this information via the loose lips of one of the research team. Other fixers know of this job. Move fast and you're guaranteed success, but there are definitely other Shadowrunners with an eye on your prize. Huh. Alright. Restaurant job. One of the things I've learned over the years is that even the rich and powerful have annoyances. Thorns in their side, if you will. No one is without troubles. The rich just have different ways of solving them. The client for this run has grown tired of one particular thorn in his side. Chuang Sing Rooster Lo. Lo is a red pole for one of the smaller triads here in Hong Kong, the 289s, or the Easy Money Gang if you prefer. Despite the 289's small stature, Lo's illegal activities have managed to damage the client's profits. Mr. Johnson would like you to help him show Lo the error of his ways. Lo takes an evening every few months to dine at the Shangri-La restaurant in Aberdeen. If you aren't aware, the Shangri-La is an elite establishment, serving primarily corporate clientele from Wu Jing Incorporated. Because of this, it's not unusual for diners to bring bodyguards or assistants with them. In Lo's case, he brings a particularly brutish enforcer known as the Talon, and undoubtedly feels well protected. You're going to prove just how wrong he is in this regard. You are to kidnap Rooster Lo. So long as he is alive and in relatively good health, all options are on the table. While keeping the run quiet would make things easier for Mr. Johnson, no one would shed too many tears over a few dead triad thugs. The client has arranged an exit via boat. So long as you can get Lo from the interior to the restaurant's dock, the client will handle everything else. Despite being a red pole, Lo is a tactician, not a fighter. Don't expect him to put up much of a fight. The Talon, on the other hand, is as nasty as they come. Be careful about how you confront him, or things may go very badly. Now let's look at the job offer from ISO. And then we have an idea about what our next move is going to be. We have so many quests. Or jobs, rather. A recording of ISO pops up on the screen. She stares into the camera, her eyes full of intensity. If you're watching this, you've decided to listen to my job offer. That's a good thing. I wasn't convinced that you would. Our target is a local Decker, a former Wampoan. In the Matrix, his handle is Rhombus. He has the software that we need. Unfortunately, he's unassailable from the Matrix, and nobody knows where he lives in meat space, but I know where he's going to be. There's an event coming up that Rhombus can't afford to miss. He might already be on his way there. As you're reading this message, deckers from all over Asia, white hat and black hat alike, are converging on the Harbor Spires Hotel. This year, Harbor Spires is hosting DeckCon, Hong Kong's largest annual decking convention. Rhombus is going to be there. That gives us an opportunity. We're going to hit the convention, find him in meat space, and get the software away from him. We're going to do it quietly. Enclosed, you'll find a copy of the plan that I've worked out for the run, presented in bullet point format. Everything should be fairly straightforward. ISO's image winks off the screen, replaced by a blinking cursor. As you watch, the screen begins to fill with lines of simple instructions. I will provide you and one other runner of your choice with visitor passes for the convention. I will proceed ahead of you using my own guest badge. I will hide in the woman's lavatory on the first floor. You'll enter via the kitchen and procure me a uniform from the catering staff. Please be sure that the uniform is size 4. We will rendezvous, I will change into the uniform, and using it, I will infiltrate the administrative wing on the 6th floor. You will proceed into the convention hall and await further instructions. Using the admin computer, I will identify Rhombus via his guest registration form. Once I've done this, I'll alert you via a comlink, and I will upgrade your badge to VIP status, granting you access to the VIP wing of the hotel. You will tell Rhombus that he has been granted VIP status and offer to escort him to a complimentary hotel room. You'll escort him to a room that I designate and hold him there. I'll jack out of the Matrix and make my way from the admin wing to your room, and we will intimidate Rhombus / beat the tar out of him until he gives us the software. We will tie and gag Rhombus and stuff him into a storage closet. We will not be gentle. It's okay if he starts crying. Actually, please prioritize this. I want to see tears. Software in tow, we will make our escape. The glowing text fades and ISO winks back onto the screen. See? It's a simple plan. Just like I said, we should be able to get through it without firing a shot. So, will you do it? Will you help me get the software I need? Interesting. Lots of quests. Now, access the Shadowland. Do we have any pay data? Nope. Any relevant keywords? Holy crap. Alright. Well, might as well just go down the line here before we end the episode. Lots going on here on the Shadowlands. Typhoon warning. This newscast just aired. If anyone wants to watch real-time isobar data or EarthSat images of the storm, the basic service paywall on Skywatcher imagery is easily circumvented. The Imperial Japanese Meteorological Agency today issued an advanced typhoon warning for the northern Philippines and the coast of the Guangdong Confederation, as Tropical Storm Usugi has grown into a full-strength typhoon, Category 3 in the Pacific. Typhoon Usagi, has formed late in the year for a powerful storm. Meteorologists credit this growing trend of awakened cold season typhoons to global warming and powerful magic vortices in the eastern Pacific, which appears to help drive moist air convective over cooler ocean waters. The newscaster looks down at her notes. According to the official release by Lance Inroki of the IJMA, Usagi is now identified as an awakened storm. We have observed strong lightning activity, electromagnetic anomalies, and extreme concentrations of awakened seabirds along its edges. Awakened storms exhibit anomalous physical and magical behavior. Many experts believe they show reactive intelligence and possibly even self-awareness and will resist making landfall to prolong their lives, even holding position against prevailing winds. Study of these storms is inhibited by their extreme environmental conditions and astral turbulence. In physical strength, Usagi may peak as a violent typhoon, Category 5 on the Eastern Pacific scale, holy crap, but will weaken substantially before making landfall. Although mariner lore is replete with tales of malicious storms, scientists have detected no provable animosity toward metahumans in the behavior of these miracles of nature. Learn more on Wild Storms of the Pacific this week's episode of Savage Nature with host Bertrand Madenicker. The Guangdong coast will likely have a long precursor battering, with drenching rains but moderate winds as Usagi stalls offshore. Usagi is one more powerful storms of the season, but it's not unusual. Usagi does not have super typhoon potential. This is going to be perfect. A long, soft hit by Usagi. Lots of electromag interference. Security and cops all tied up. It's running season. I hope everyone's ready for a high operational tempo. Our fixer's already scrambling for crews. I heart storms. Indeed. Verse smack. Oh, it's more poetry. Come one, come all, and welcome to what could be very well the last Shadowland Poetry Slam. There's something kind of sad about that. End of an era. In honor of Jivebert, I've created an expert system that writes haikus. It takes whatever's being said in a thread and turns it into a poem. Mind if I fire it up? Schnozzy, you shouldn't have. What kind of poetry slam includes bots? This is lame. Homage to Jivebert. The program stirs, churns out text. 3 lines mar the piece. That's brilliant. Now can I hang up my quill? I don't really buy that a bot can produce poetry like a living, breathing, feeling human being. Sorry. This is Drek. Despair grips the poets. A machine crafting haikus. The Jivebot breaks free. Was that supposed to happen? The slam is now slammed. This program is broken loose. Pandemonium. Oh, Skynet. Well, look on the bright side. How much damage can a runaway poetry bot do anyway? You fracking people. Oh, there wasn't even... Yeah, alright. And the hunt continues. A short clip of a Trid news broadcast begins playing. And despite their efforts, no one has yet come forward. The government of Hanan has denied all connection with the terrorist fugitives, even going so far as to state that the White Star organization no longer exists. There's still been no word from the HKPF on the whereabouts of the fugitive terrorists. The mood on the streets is nervous. There's no telling when or where these terrorists will strike. For now, the Special Duties Unit of the HKPF remains on active alert, ready to respond at a moment's notice. This is Sunny Chuang with Horizon News, signing off. What a load of crap. How are they going to convince us a bunch of crazy terrorists got into the Fez and just disappeared under their noses, huh? This would never happen if Lone Star was the sole police force here. Sure, because heavily armed terrorists never sneak into Lone Star cities like Chicago and Seattle, only to disappear and remain free to roam the streets after they engage in public gun battles. There's no way Hanan is connected to these people. If they really were White Star, they'd have struck already. Their entire modus operandi is suicide bombings and civilian casualties. If these people are hiding, they're probably on the wrong side of a setup. Thank you, Lou. Sure. Because everybody in the shadows is just some bleeding heart fighting the megas because they believe in freedom. Grow the hell up. Looking for tailor for special job. Searching for a tailor for some unusual custom work. Ratstar123. I might know a guy. Is this for armor? Not exactly. It's actually a surprise birthday gift for a friend. A friend's drone, actually. What exactly do you want a tailor to make for a drone? A cat costume with soft little ears and paws? Or better yet, a bear suit. Oh, Lord. Oh, or a red samurai outfit. I even have references that I can provide. Okay. You got a fat stack of new yen? This is gonna cost. I'll find the new yen. Can you help me? This will be so worth it. Yeah, I'll hook you up. Can't get a flight to Seattle. That's unfortunate. Hey, I've got a problem I'm hoping one of you can help with. I came out to the Fez 2 weeks ago for work. Now that the job is wrapped, I've been trying to get an under-the-table flight to Seattle for the past week. Off the books, no passport control, that kind of thing. Nobody's making the trip. What gives? Check the news feeds, man. Haven't you heard? The Seattle is on lockdown. Nothing coming into or out of the city without a thorough search for at least another week. They caught some smugglers trying to move some really nasty stuff in through a covert landing at Discovery Park. That seems like a bit of an overreaction. Tons of awful stuff moves through Seattle every day. What's so different about this time? Not like this. You didn't hear it from me, but I have some friends with ICE. They say whatever it was, it set off the radiological alarms of the Coast Guard ship that was sweeping the area. We're talking fissionable material here, enriched and ready to go in a bomb. No way. I don't buy that for a second. More likely, some corp had an accident with one of their ships and dumped some radiological material. They don't want to admit it, so City Hall is covering their asses. Don't dismiss the news so lightly. The smugglers were carrying cargo for Winter Night. It's only pure luck the cargo was intercepted at all. Who the hell is Winter Night? Sounds like a goblin rock band. Not who, what. All you need to know is this. Winter Night is bad news. You cross them, they destroy your life. You ever run into any of them on a job? I suggest a solution that comes in 7.62 millimeters. Now, Winter Night I think we heard about in Dragonfall. Now, New Pinoy in HK. Hi there. Just arrived in HK from CFS and want to meet other runners from the Philippines. Salamat po. Anyone? I make really good, I think it's pancit? Pankit? Peaches. Well, why didn't you say so right away? Gumasta po kayo? Lots of former Huck families here. Welcome. Hi. Taga Sanka? Me from Manila. I'm a decker. You? QC here. I'm a decker too. I'm going to call it pankit. Pankit is fine and good, but can you also make dinuguan? PM me if you can. Kumasta. Nice to meet you, QC Blues. Oh, there's a lot of people from the Philippines here. Hi there, Street Mage here. Might know some Pinoy runners looking for a new decker. Welcome. And smiley face. So there is a pretty large contingent. That's kind of cool. Alrighty. Well, that's the Shadowlands dealt with and our pay. In the next episode, guys, we're going to talk to the rest of the crew, get some shut-eye, and hopefully run by Spider Chen and get some new gear since we have all those upgrades. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.